Hello, everybody. This is the January edition of Conversations with Rob, and we're glad to be back. It has been a snowy, wet, cold month, and we've had 5 snow days this month. Which, speaking of snow days, we are out. We don't have any more built into our calendar, so at this point, you need to highlight March 29th and April 1st on your calendars. Those are our scheduled inclement weather day makeup. We are not there yet, but the next day that we miss, we will be required to make that day up. So mark that on your calendar as potentials. We hope that the weather plays nice the rest of this winter and into spring, and we won't need to use those, but at this point we want to be aware. For this month's conversation, we had the opportunity to sit down with one of our Kansas Teacher of the Year nominees. Enjoy the conversation. For our January interview, we are here with Beth Aldridge. Beth is our Secondary Teacher of the Year. And congratulations, Beth. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
So tell me a little bit about your career in education.
I actually have always been in the Wamego School District. I student taught here back in the spring of 2004. And then I got a job. I was lucky enough to get hired here, taught for 9 years. And then I actually stayed home with kiddos for 7 years. And then I came back. This is my 4th year back. So this is my 13th year teaching.
What all have you taught since you've been in our district the whole time?
Let's see, I've taught English 2, English 3, English 4. I started Accelerated English 2. I started the AP English Language and Composition for juniors. I'm also teaching English Composition 1 and 2 this year. I subbed for Accelerated Freshman English, and I also got to sub for about 3/4 of the year over at West as the one of the title teachers over there, nice. Title reading and math.
And currently you are teaching?
Currently I have English 3, AP English Language and Composition, and then English Composition 1 and 2, the concurrent credit for Highland.
Nice. So yeah. in teaching, what are your favorite parts of that teaching role that you get to play?
Honestly, it's being with the kids. That's what makes me want to do this every day. When you can tell that you have taught the lesson in a way that they really understand it, and I actually get to just sit back and watch them, that is the coolest part for me, when I can actually be that facilitator of learning for them. I love being with the kids. So.
Not everything is all roses in anything that we do, right? So there are some difficult parts. What are some of those things that educators are experiencing at this point in 2024?
I think a teacher shortage is a huge concern of mine. I really want to help mentor up and coming teachers. We need good people in this profession. Our kids deserve that. So I think we need to invest our time in helping to mold them become better. I think too, our students have a different set of problems coming at them. And I don't know that problems is the word I'm looking for. Technology is constantly bombarding them. And I think we need to teach them how to find credible and reliable ways to receive information, and then how to critically think through that. I think a lot of times it's easy to read something and take it as truth and then spin that. And I think part of my role that I'm really working to try to help our kids is to find ways to critically think through things and find how to find those reliable sources.
If I was a student coming into your classroom the first time, what would my experience be in your classroom?
You'd find a lot of structure. I definitely have structured my classroom most every day is going to kind of start the same. We usually start with some kind of bell activity where they get to talk to their classmates, kind of get to process through something, a question or some kind of Kagan activity where they get up and get to talk to people. Then we go into vocabulary, studying words and being able to use those appropriately is always an important thing for our students. So that is kind of the next thing. And then we get into the meat of what I teach, and that's the reading and the writing. And they're going to do a lot of it. Sometimes maybe not to their pleasure, but we have to practice it to get better. So we do a lot of it. I give them feedback, so I really know where my students are, so I can help them go from point A to point B. We're always trying to improve.
Okay. What other roles do you get to play? What other things do you do here than just teach in the classroom?
I get to do honor flight. I helped start that program with Mr. Sean Hornan back in 2012, 13, that school year. And I have stayed on as a board member ever since then. And that is very important to me and very dear to me. I also serve on the building leadership team here, and I also serve on the district leadership team here. I have done the reading TASN team. I was on that team. I think that might be currently about all that I'm doing. So. Yeah, I mean, throughout my years, I've done different things. I've done class sponsor. Forgot to mention earlier, I also taught yearbook for years. So I was yearbook sponsor, and that's a whole other life in itself, which was awesome. I loved doing that when I was in that role. I also was NHS sponsor for a little while. Feels like a lot, but all stuff that has been really rewarding.
I know as a building leadership team member, you've played an integral part in developing and integrating our reading program school-wide into our everyday life here at Omega High School. Talk to me a little bit about the gains that have been achieved that you've seen and the work that's gone into that.
It definitely takes time to get something like the literacy initiative up and going, but it's worth it when it helps our kids. So we had to figure out kind of first how to help support our teachers, some of them who have not done any of this before, and then how we could best reach our students. So we did a lot of presentations, we did a lot of research, we are constantly tweaking and trying to figure out what is the best way. But when I know that we are helping kids, I don't see how we could say that's not worth it. And I think truly we do have scores that have improved, but it's really those anecdotal things that I've seen that have made a more lasting impact for me. Students who feel comfortable practicing their reading because they know they're safe. Students who want to read now, where they might not have before.
Right.
I think those are the kinds of gains you're never going to get from a graph, which mean the most to me.
Yeah. Thank you for what you do. Congratulations on your achievement and your recognition would be the word I would be looking for. Recognition as our secondary teacher of the year. Well earned. And thank you for all your work with our kids.
Thank you very much.
In finishing up, I wanted to bring two things to your attention today. The first would be outside of our offices here at Vine and 8th Street, the city is going to be working on a sewer project that is going to close 8th Street at that location. So it will not be a through street starting, they believe, February 1st and running for, they believe, approximately 3 weeks. Obviously, there may be some wiggle room in either of those depending on weather, etc. But 8th Street will not be a through street for the next 3 weeks or so. Please plan accordingly. We are changing bus routes that we're using 8th Street currently. The other item that I want to make you aware of is our family engagement survey. It probably seems like we have surveyed you quite a bit this year. We did the strategic plan survey earlier this fall. The family engagement survey we have done every year for the past few years. It speaks specifically to processes and ways we do things, communication, etc., at USD 320 and in our various schools. Please take the time. That is due February 8th. We'd love it if you take a few minutes and give us that feedback so that we can make the changes necessary to be better. As always, we look forward to working with you in the month of February. And remember, no one's greater than a Raider.